Hello everybody, I'm Sota and welcome back to Foundry. We are in update 2. There have been a massive amount of changes, but we did get some stuff automated in the first episode, so it was a good way to get started. But in this episode, we are going to need to do some automation of power and also automate some basic components that we need, like these floor platforms and the conveyors, because we're going to need a lot of them. So there's a lot to do. Let's get stuck in. Alright, so we have tasks that we need to do. One of them is to research the transport, bot assembly, and shipping. So let's hop in here. Transport, bot assembly, and shipping. We have the prerequisites for that, so we'll start that research. We do have a few science packs saved up. And I think, yeah, we're pretty much full on the xenoferrite plates and also on the technum rods. Yep, we are looking strong there. So let's pull out our scanner and do a quick scan so we can see where that... hello? Oh, there it is. There's the Ignium. And I've already dug a hole down to it, so let's go and sort something out over here. This runs quite deep, and there is a limit with the miners, and I can't honestly remember what it is. So I'm going to drill out a little bit, and I'm going to make a platform just above this level. And then we can ramp the output up. Okay, that's fairly well opened up, so let's see how this goes. I should probably have built this drone miner earlier. Oh, but then I am making a lot of platforms. A lot, wow. So I could start with the platforms. And I will put them in just like that. Raise up the level over there. And bring that across. Now, is this the right level? I think it might be. So we're going to pull that through to there. Yeah, this should be good. And then I'm going to just have to cut a line through to this platform. Although I've already started here, so let's do that. Drag this over to here. And then I'm going to take this over this way. And we'll meet up. And that's it. We should be able to then get our power transferred. So we're going to pull this through to there. And bring that to there. And we have also finished this, so I can put this in over here. Actually, I think I'm going to put a couple more platforms over there. Make sure that's filled in. Sure. Okay, we've already started the mining operation, so that's good. So we'll put that in there. I'm going to need a belt ramp or 2. Let's do 2 of them. And it's at this point that I really need to start organizing my toolbars a little bit better. Okay, so 1 there and 1 there. I will probably need to change this because it's not exactly lining up perfectly. Okay, so we now have Ignium. Raw Ignium. Good. And that's going to need to feed into something. So let's go and have a look at what else we can build. Okay, so we are going to need some technum rods. So the burner generators, yeah, I'll just go and pick up some technum rods in here. I'll just grab a stack. There's 200. Nice. Well, might as well get some plates as well. Oh, no, I didn't want that much. Well, that's fine. I've got enough now. That'll do. So I don't know how much they use, but just for now, I'm going to get 2. It does 1.8 megawatts, which is way more than what we need, I think. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Because we've got 3 of those things doing 600 each, so that's 1.8. So this machine is basically going to do... One machine will do what those 3 are doing. Oh, sunset again. Seems to be dark a lot in this game. Alright, floor blocks. I'm going to expand them out just a bit so I have some walking space. And get rid of the stone. There are our 2 burner generators. Pop them in over there. And they are big. So that means I probably need to put some more platforms out over here. Yeah, so it's full. I think this one also does about 60 per minute. If we put them there and there, I think that is right. They only take inputs there and there. And then the conveyor goes straight through to there. It says it's missing fuel, but it's not anymore. There we go. Now, our current output is low because our machines are all full. So they're not working, but if they were all working, we might be on the edge. this looks like it is more than enough to hold. Yeah, this one miner looks like it's more than enough to support both of these currently. But I do feel like I need to make another storage, and that also means making a couple more of these. So we'll put a storage box there, and we'll dump it right over. I'll put it over there with an input and what will be an output. There we go. Oh, I should put lights on. There we go. And now we're getting Ignium stored up. Good. Now these loaders will only load enough in a machine for the machine to operate. So the machines don't really have an internal storage. And I completely forgot about that when I was wondering why I wasn't doing so well with my science packs in the previous episode. Well, that's why. They will not put it through if there's already something in the machine. And in terms of research, we need to do some more research. I need to buy a small cargo ship and task it with planetary shipping. That's interesting. Where do I do that? Spaceships. I'm going to buy a ship. Small cargo ship. Capacity 1,000. Fuel consumption is that. We're going to have to figure out how fuel consumption works. Minimum shipping pad size small. That takes 3,000 Thermalite, and we have 10,000. Alright, so we'll do that. Assign task, planetary shipping. I think that's what it wanted. And then we can even sell it. It sells at a small loss. Wow, look at that. There's a third of the value as soon as it leaves the showroom. Alright, now I need to place a shipping pad. And that is a shipping pad small. So that is being made. Alright, I need to have a look around and see how I'm going to plan this. So if I'm standing here and I'm facing the boat, that direction there is where I want to be working that way. So putting stuff over here is fine. There is the small shipping pad. Chuck it in there. That's the small shipping pad. Wow. Does this need to go on platform? Oh, I see. Alright. I may move it later, but for now it's going over there. Now, does this need power? Configure. Transport wares from factory to space station. And the item transport bot there. Okay. Confirm. And I think that is it. Confirm. Right.
We did it. That was quite a lot, right? But it'll be worth it. Just one more step to make some cash. We can convert an old hangar to a sales platform from which passing traders and customers will be able to buy our products. Once built, we need to enable sales through the station command menu, and then we wait. You'll be notified about sales every hour.
Alright, I'm going to figure out how to make the sales platform on the space station. Let's see if I need to research it. Yeah, I am not 100% sure. Let's hop in here. Not there or there. Oh, there it is. So, well, that's a solar panel upgrade. Solar panels are used to generate more energy. Oh, sales platform. There it is. So I'll build a sales platform. Requires 10 megawatts. Okay, so that means that I do need to go back and I need to get a solar panel repair, and that'll give us 20 megawatts. We'll start that. That will take a little bit of time, I think. But we have power now. I've set this up pretty badly, but then this isn't my final layout. What I would like to do is expand upstairs, but I also need to expand this platform, which is why I made so many of these blocks, so that I could, because we do need to automate some stuff. I'm really not terribly keen on manually making these platform blocks or the conveyor belts or the loaders. These need to be automated. And the nice thing about the storage boxes, I think that still works that way. Yeah, let's not do this one. Let's do the science packs one, and we can say, all right, we don't need to store that many of these, so let's stop production after there are like 3 stacks. So for things like loaders, you don't need 8 stacks. 1 stack will be fine. Ramps as well, I think. Maybe 2 stacks for the ramps. But then the conveyors, you need all the stacks. I've set this up badly, so I'm going to have to rearrange it a little bit. And these are still burning. They almost finished though, so I'll wait until they're done. And then I'm going to break those down and just move them to our power area over there. And carry on having a look at research, because I do want to research more stuff. I want to do stairs. I can do character improvement. That looks fun. Let's do the stairs so I can play with those a little bit first. And we'll start the research. It only takes 15. Perfect. Right, we have repaired the solar panels. That's great. That means that we can hop in here and go to the sales platform. It's going to cost 100 construction material. We still have 850. So that's getting done. Our stairs are being researched, and it probably wasn't the best use of my time right now, because the more important thing for me is to get splitters sorted out. This place is going to look awful. There's going to be belts hopping over other belts to get things made. But this is only a temporary area. This is like a little starting base, and it's all going to come down eventually. Well, now that the stairs have been researched, let's focus on something more important like the conveyor balancer. I have everything else that I need for it. And this is a very nice tool because it's a balancer, it's a splitter, it's a merger. Pretty cool. So we are researching. Yep, we are actually researching now. I unpaused it because you can pause your research. Right, I switched those off so that these would finally run out of stuff, and they're almost done. And then we have to start thinking about robots there. The transport bots, we need 20 of them. Now we could make them ourselves, and I think I might just do that. And they can only be made in an assembler. And they need machinery parts and electronic components. Maybe I should just do the basics first before I jump into those. And we have no power here. That is a good thing, because it means I can finally break these down, but then I can switch the big heaters on. There we go. And everything will have power again. And then I'm going to break these down. Don't want to destroy them completely, so I'm just going to put them over here for now. There we go. Close to the other power setup. I will use them in case of emergencies. Right, let's have a look at what we need for stairs. There they are. Can make them on the character. Now, you see the assemblers are way better at making things. Right, I've got... wait, I better make some more. Now, I think if you right-click on some things... If you right-click on something, it makes 5. Or it uses 5 resources. So, let's grab that. And if I right-click on this, I can tell it what shape stair I want. Right now, I just want regular. And where am I going to take it up? I'll take it up from here. I'll just have to walk up and just make sure it's going to need to go a little bit higher. Yeah, but now that I've stopped pulling it through, I don't have a support for it, so that's going to need to go there. And can I hit it from the bottom? Nope, going to have to go up. Yeah, I think that should be high enough. And then I'll just drag something like that over the top. We will make more stairs, but now we have a platform up here, and I can start implementing my plan. But before I do that, I need another assembler. And I think, have I done that research? Is it finished? No, it's not finished yet. We're going to have to wait for that research to get done. Alright, well now it's showing me profit from the past day. And I'm not making any profit right now because I'm not sending any of those transport drones or robots or whatever they are up. But I do think I'm supposed to feed them in over here. So we'll see. And I suppose that profit will help us repair our spaceship. So let's go and have a look at the space station. So we've got a platform open now, so we can enable this. I don't know. The sales platform allows us to sell products to casual customers passing by our station. Sales prices are expected to be 30% lower than the average market price, but it does not require extra management. Since other sales methods are always prioritized, the sales platform is also a convenient way of selling excess products in store. Okay, there's quite a demand hourly. Finances we can have a look at. Transport bots. Okay, we'll see all of this. There's charts, there's competitors. Oh, wow. There's a leaderboard. Oh, there's our conveyor balancer unlocked. Man, there's quite a lot of stuff here. Station upgrades. There is another solar panel upgrade. I don't know if I want to do that yet. That will give us an additional 20 megawatts. We have 10 available. I suppose we can always use them, right? 200 construction material. I got 750. Yeah, what the heck. Let's do that one. Okay, that's happening. So now what I'd like to do here is grab that assembler and put it over here, which I do need to rearrange these. And we'll put the assembler down like that for now. We need An input belt. Let's see how we're going to do this. Let me sort this out first. I'll take 2 pieces out of this belt and 2 pieces out of this one. And then we need to make a couple of those balances. And then we can shove the balances in our hotbar. What did we just finish? Conveyor balancer? Okay, so we're going to pull that one through there. And we're going to get this one over here. And then we can grab our belts. And we can go change direction. And drag that to there. And then this one, do that. And send that to there. And then we can put our inputs in like that and like that. And then get another storage box. Another thing that we need to make is the storage boxes. And we'll pop it in there. Put the loader in and belt to there. Right, and we need to configure this to be platforms, building blocks. And they are starting to build and they will store up because we need a lot of them. And we're not doing any research, so let's sort that out. Second lane loaders, those are very important. Ladders, not so much. Doors, no. Decor 1, no. Container. I think that's for personal stuff, so not really crazy important. I think I'm going to research this one. Yeah, let's do that. This is still empty because this is not set as... wait, that's supposed to be the output? Yep, there we go. So these platforms now being automatically made. So like I said, this is a heck of a mess. We're going to need lots and lots of conveyor belts as well. And conveyor belts, I think, need xenoferrite plates and the machine parts. Let's just check. Yep. So it's all xenoferrite stuff. Cool. We can do that one right here. So we don't have enough xenoferrite plates to make the assembler. So let's sort that out. So if you press Control and click, you get all of them. I don't want that. Press Shift and click, you only get one stack. Perfect. So we're going to make an assembler. I'm going to need a couple more loaders and probably some more belts. And while I'm in there, another container storage. I'm going to put this over here. And then it's going to need to feed... Oh no, I'm going to need to have another splitter over here. Oh well. Well, not necessarily. So I do that. And I put that over there. Get our assembler and do that. Is that going to feed if I put a belt in over here? It should. That there. Oh, okay. It doesn't like going off the corner. Alright, well, we'll fix that. I think I will do it by just popping in another one of these. Yeah, that's not the best place for it. Take it one further back. I think I'm going to need an output over here at some point, so I'm going to leave that. Like I said, it's not going to be pretty. And that will feed that. Good. And then I can go in here, configure that to make conveyor belts. And then just out the back over here, I'm going to have the storage for it. So we'll do that and we'll throw... Oh, I need to make loaders. So we'll put that there and rotate that to go in there and grab a belt. And the belt will go just like that. And it's empty because why? Because machinery parts. Why am I not getting... Oh, because this needs to be an output. There's the machinery parts. There we go. That's being made now. This has got to be an output as well. And there we go. That is now being done. In the meantime, I've managed to collect a few of these, and I'm going to take all of them because we are going big up top. I'm just going to extend out in this direction a lot. And I'm going to need to go over... Well, I hope I can go over those. I should be able to. And I'm probably going to need to go over this way. Wow, I already used them all up. 900 of them gone. That's why you need to automate them. Yeah, and we get back down and there's more to take. So that's cool. Oh, and I made myself a little storage box to store the things that I don't really need to be carrying with me. Yeah, things like biomass I don't need right now. Stone I don't really need. Dirt, not really. Well, I'll keep some on me. I've got a few other bits and pieces that I've collected. These are all fine. Just sort them. Alright, good. And we'll just grab another 100 of those. Now, what I'm doing up here is I'm going to be setting up a bus. And basically that is a production line where everything is available at all times. And I just hope I haven't messed this up by where I've put those or the direction that I'm going. I could go further out in this direction, but that's okay. And I'll be clearing out trees and going far over that way. But basically what I'd like to do, and I don't have many belts on me, so I should go and grab some quickly out of my awesome little setup over here. Alright, got those. Might as well. I want to have belts. I want to have a belt highway, basically. I want to have it like that in twos with a space between them. Now, I did this in my previous playthrough as well. Let's see. I think I'm going to go this way. So that's going to be that. I'm going to need a smelting area as well, which will probably be in this direction, a little bit further back, but that'll also need to be able to expand. And then I'm going to just work out some spacing. Yeah, I think this should be fine. This should be fine. I'm going to slope that down. We'll put this kind of, I don't know. I'll start over here. I haven't left myself much space over on this side. Should be okay though. And I'll do some more floor over here just to close that off. That will go there. We'll need an assembler. All right. I'll need to go further out over here. So we'll just do that. And I'm just getting my spacing right. I think it was 4 should be good. Panels on the front. So if something needs to go in, it goes in over here. The belt should be fine just like that for the input, and then an output belt going this way. But it's going to need to have a splitter like that. We're going to take this, we're going to right click, and this one needs to go up. So we'll put that there, put a belt through to there, get a belt on there, put a loader like that. A loader over here. This one needs to be in. No, that's an output. Okay. And I managed to put one of those things in the air again. I think I might be doing that a bit. I seem to remember doing it before. Anyway, so basically this will be a setup. We will have a bus going through here. The bus will have items on it. So initially it will be like the base items coming out of the smelters. So the plates and the rods. They will come into here and they will automatically be made into another resource, a higher level resource. So plates coming in here will be made into the machine parts. And I see that the stairs don't transfer power, so I'm going to need to sort that out. Not a big problem at all. But yeah, those base items come in, they feed in here, they get made into the item, that gets output, some of it goes into storage, and the rest goes out and joins the bus, which will then feed into another process or assembler further down the line. And that's the plan. And we can do this on both sides of this bus. I didn't need more than 8 previously, so I don't think I'm going to need more than 8 items on the belt at any time. Somewhere down the line, plates won't be needed anymore, rods won't be needed, so these that will initially bring in the basic stuff out of the smelters, they will get cut off because they won't be needed anymore, and that'll be replaced with another item further down the line. So I think 8 was good. We might need to go, I can't remember if we needed to go wider than that. But obviously, not many of them are going to be full at the beginning. So like the first most important thing to put in, yeah, no power. So what I will do here, I need to go and grab some more platforms. And we're already over 1,000. Fantastic. And I'll grab those belts as well. But all I really need to do is connect the top to the bottom. So it's pretty straightforward. If I press Y, that's vertical, and I can just do that. And that should sort out the power on the top problem. Yep, there we go. We have power. So like this machine, for example, will be the very first machine, and that will make a whole bunch of machinery parts. And then what I may do on the other side, just to keep things nicely balanced, is have the next machine that will make the wire coils. And then the one after that needs the wire coils. This one needs the Technum rods and the wire coils. So that machine will then feed into the machine next to it, and so on. So yeah, there will be a lot of stuff going on, and the cool thing is I can expand this. So if I need more machinery parts, which I definitely will, I can expand this line, I can add assemblers, it will just increase, and I just need to then go back to the smelters and the miners to make sure that I'm actually getting enough resources coming in to feed the system with its 3 or 4 or 5 or however many assemblers on it. And then obviously the belts have to be fast enough too. But I think tier 1 belts carry 160, and that's more than enough to handle, what, 20 of these? Did I not set it? No, I didn't. That uses 40 per minute, so I could handle 4 assemblers on these belts. And then somewhere in this direction we will have the smelter setup, which will also be expandable. And we'll expand it as we can with the faster belts. So before we get into the crazy stuff, because there's pipes and all sorts of things that we're going to need to do here, I don't want to make a mess like I did the last time, where I built way too much downstairs and it took me hours and hours to get it all cleared out. So my plan here will be make the platforms, get the conveyors, and get everything ready up top to be able to make what I'm making over here, and then shut this lot down, move the smelting setup to up top, and then continue production, because it's way easier to do it on something like that than to fiddle with bits and pieces like I have been doing up to now. Anyway, more platforms. Alright, let's do the smelting setup very, very quickly. It shouldn't be difficult. We have mountains over there. That's good. I need to just make sure that I'm doing some research, so I'm going to hop down there quickly. Let's see what is seriously important. Assembler tier 2s are pretty nice. Lights will be good. Railings I don't need immediately. Let's do lights and start that research. Should be pretty quick. Right, so I'm going to need smelters, which means I need more pots. Yeah. See, this has become... Oh, did I just cover this? I covered up the mine. Yeah, don't do that. Alright, so now that that's uncovered again, we'll get xenoferrite production underway. This one's still okay, but it's full. Alright, so while that is catching up again, what I will do over here is... Let's put an outgoing belt first. I think this one is going to be the xenoferrite. So we'll do that to there. And in fact, probably just take it out to there. Alright, let's just sort out the position of the first one. I will need a buffer, so I'm going to have 2 belts over here, or 2 loaders, and they will go into a storage when I've got enough stuff to make a storage. And then I'm going to need an output loader there, and I have a couple of smelters, so I'll grab those, and I will put them like that. So we'll do just the one for now. Now, in order to make sure that we are doing the right thing, I'm going to need a belt coming in with the ore. So that's going to go down that way. And then another loader in over here. That will be intake. This will be output. This will be intake. This will be output. And then I have to do basically the same thing on the other side. We'll leave a little bit of space. Put that over there. Another one over there. Input belts going in this way. Output coming through this way. Yep. And then I can put as many smelters as I like down over that side. And I think the rods, I'm going to not put them on the same grouping. I made this mistake last time. I'll put them on another grouping. So for now, the rods are going to come out over here and go into that line, which means that we're going to need to have a ramp up or ramp into this or wherever our ore comes through. So right click it, that's got to come down, put it like that, grab a belt in there. Yeah, not happy with that positioning. I'd like belts to sort of line up. So like that, yes. And then this will come through somewhere there. I just needed to actually bend this last one in. Oh, put it the wrong way around. That's fine. So if you hold Shift and F, you can grab a whole lot of things and delete them all at once. Just be careful because you can in all 3 axes, and that could cause a bit of a problem. And that is that sorted. Xenoferrite will come through on this belt, and the Technum will come in on that belt, and then we can put smelters all the way back. Perfect. In the meantime, I have an empty chest because the floor was closed up, so my mining wasn't happening. Probably have to open up a little bit more. Okay, good. This is happening again. Now you will notice that blocks are disappearing. That's because resources are not infinite. So something just to bear in mind. And knowing what my layout is over there now, I can take out a couple of things over here. I'm going to need a splitter over there. I will continue the belt through that way. Then I'll need a ramp up like that, and then just turn that to there. Alright, good. So that will feed, and this is basically how every off-take from the bus will be. I have a splitter and a ramp, most likely. I will leave a little bit more space between them than I did the last time. Last time I had a little bit of trouble. Let's see if I can reach the tree from here. I can, because trees will stop you from building your platforms. Cool. And then I can just go and put some platforms back in. Now, I'm not sure, but I thought somebody had said that there were conveyor lifts in this game now. And I honestly, maybe I'm wrong. There are lifts, like this elevator over here, but that's for transporting characters up and down. This is a freight elevator. That's way too big for what I'm looking for. Alright, I'm gonna just do this character improvements upgrade, because it looks like it leads to the next science pack, so we'll get that done. So it does seem that it's still going to be a big pain in the butt to get materials up to the top. Character improvements been done, so I suppose we can go in here. Mining drill, variance, doesn't really matter. Character, I can change colors if I want. Don't really want to. But yeah, that's not much, but we needed to get through it. Next, inventory size. Oh yes, I definitely want that. Alright, so I'm having a bit of trouble keeping up right now with my demand on xenoferrite plates. So I'm going to put in another one of these. It's still nighttime. We'll grab another loader, put it like that. Yep, that's correct. Alright, so that's going to boost the amount of xenoferrite that's being mined. That still doesn't solve this problem because these are only producing 20 a piece each. So that's a total of 60. Those two machines are using 80. So not ideal. And that doesn't even include this one over here that's also using another 40, I think. It's worse, it's using 72. But at the moment it's not running because it's full. But it does mean that I could, if I could afford it, put another smelter in over here just to bump things up just a little bit. I don't really want to do that, and I don't see any conveyor lifts. So I was wrong about that, and I'm quite disappointed that they aren't in the game, because now we have to do those silly loops up to get materials or conveyors up to the upper level. Let me grab a couple of these. Didn't want to take that many. Anyway. Right, so I have to figure out now which ones, where the belts need to come through. I think I'll put them right next to each other over here. So we'll do that like that, and then for the indication, just remove these. And then I'm going to need a whole bunch of conveyor ramps that I can't afford yet. Yeah, things are taking way too long, so I'm going to do it myself. And pop that in, and that should just increase things on this side just a little bit. Alright, research is finished. I have more storage now. So if I go C, or B, actually it's B, I have apparently got more slots. Cool. Right, there was another research to do, and that's mining drill speed. I think I'll do that. And we're getting the bits and pieces out of the way so that we can get the real production going. Now that I've got some ramps, I need to ramp up. I'm going to rotate that there, and then we're going to bring them one more. Then I'm going to get the belts. Why is that ramping up? Oh, it's supposed to. Rotate that. Put that one there. And oh, wrong place. That one over there. Then I'm just going to have to remove those two. Get this to go there, and that can go there. So that I can fix that up like that. This is probably about as neat as I'm going to be able to get it. And it is a little difficult working from the top. I could have worked from the bottom, but I wanted it to go up in a specific place. So you just have to make it work. Put that there and that there. At the same time, trying to remember that this is coming up. So that would be there, and this one around there. And I can then remove these and repeat the process. And with that, we have our 2 inputs. And that means I can start diverting my ores up on this side. Alright, so I've got these backwards because this one here is going to be on the far side, but that's okay. We still got to stretch a conveyor from here across to there for that. Yeah, so that doesn't look too bad. It's probably about the tightest that you can make it. But yeah, I am still disappointed that there's no conveyor lift to make this kind of operation simpler and neater. And it's such a simple thing to put in. Anyway. Oh good, it looks like we're backing up again. So that's great. And we did a lot of preparation in this episode. I would like this to back up just a little bit more before I remove these smelters, because these smelters will move upstairs along with those. I mean, I think that's the drill speed on the hand miner, so not really that important. I don't intend to use it that much. But sometimes we'll have to, so yep, it's there, we've got to do it. See if there's anything else we can do. Space station upgrades, none available. Storage, none available. Spaceships, we've got a spaceship, we've got a platform. Finances, I'm not going to stress a lot about that. And then the galactic market and galactic map, which we don't have. Which means we are going to be able to trade with other planets. Very nice. Alright, that mining drill speed is finished now, so let's hop in and see what else we can do. Maybe get the Science Pack 2 set up. We don't need science containers, no. Nothing else is really that important. And it does look like a lot opens up once we do Science Pack 2. So let's do that one. And this is nicely backed up, so we don't really need these anymore. So I'm going to start removing them to be moved upstairs. And I'm probably going to need another miner down here, but I'll get to that. I'm going to delete that because I want to ramp this up over here and then get the belts and get that plugged in straight into there. And just connect that, and that will get the Technum to the roof. How are we doing with stocking up over here? It's slow, but it's happening. I'm going to head up to the roof, and we're going to... Oh, this has already started doing stuff. Alright, I haven't got that set as an output, which is probably a good thing. It doesn't really matter. We can. So we're getting the rods. Where did I put the panels? On this side. There are a couple more. This one... Oh, I put this on the wrong side. No, that's fine. No, it's not. I have to take it down and put it back in like that. There we go. And these will go feeding in, as will this. And then these will feed out. Okay, set those to outputs. Set this to output. I put this in the wrong place. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I prefer it to be uniform. Okay, so this is working now. Right, at this stage, our grid is still looking strong. No issues. We've actually got 2 of these, so it's 3.6 megawatts. We are currently only using 600 odd, so no worries there. Has there even been a daytime in this episode? I feel like it's been dark the whole time. Alright, I think that's backed up enough, so time to move these smelters out. So I am literally just going to pick everything up. I'm going to find a convenient route through here, which will be around about here. That should be good. Bring the conveyor belt in. We'll run a conveyor belt. Oops, that way over the top of everything. Ooh, oh, it jumped that on its own. Nice. Bring it down to the ground round about there. This time it needs to go down. And I think I got that lined up. So we can just throw that in there and make sure that it gets to the top. And we finished Science Pack 2 research. Good. Okay, so that's going to go up to the top. We've already taken the smelters down over here. And we'll add smelters over on this side. And that should do that. And then inputs all the way across. Okay, that's fine. And belts. Make sure that we toggle these to outputs. And that's all of those ready. And it does appear that these are all working fantastic. And this belt obviously is backed up now. But I think we can feed this one in. And these plates will come across. Some of them will continue to go through, and then this will split off going into this direction. Okay, these are going in. This is working. We're getting the machinery parts. Oh, there was one thing that I missed. I need a couple of storage boxes as well. I think I need to go downstairs and sort that out. And a few more of those. And we can have the panel over here, and this will now back up the plates. Good, and then we need to back up the rods on this side. So we'll do 2 of those. Put this over here. This will be an output, and rods are backing up. So we've got a buffer on the rods. Yeah, perfect. This line's going to need to expand. These are doing 20, so I could do 8 on these belts. So we'll expand that. Hey, look, it is daytime. Look at that. And that is the first part of our bus production system, where we will be producing pretty much everything that we need, including the transport bots that we need to sell. But we will get there. I will just drag this over right there. That can feed into that line, and then we'll do more over on this side. I'll do a little bit of work between episodes, build some more platforms out, expand, cut down trees, make sure that everything is good on our power. But there you go. We are now getting some proper automation going. If you like this video, give us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. Leave me your comments, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've got any better ideas on layouts. This is mine, I used it in the first series and it worked perfectly. We're not researching anything right now. Station antenna actually needs the science packs too, so we need to get into that very quickly. We will. Logistics container too, those are very nice. We'll find a reason to have those at some point. But I think that we're going to have to probably get into pipes fairly soon. I remember it being quite early in the first one. Could be wrong. Glass production is before. Was there concrete? Yeah, concrete production as well. And that needs a bit of stuff, including the antenna, explosives, and the mineral rock scanner before we can even get there. So quite a bit to do on that side. That is it for now. Thank you very much for joining me. And until the next one. Cheers.